I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Here, Caucus.
Here.
Espacio. Here. Kelly. Here. Mr. Farrell.
Here.
Mr. Shapiro.
Here.
Mr. Murray.
Here.
And Mr. White.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Basor.
Here.
Mr. Straley. Here. And also present, Stephen Selfridge.
Okay. Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. One, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 5th, 2025, and two, emailed to the retrospect and courier post on January 8th, 2025. First order of business is the discussion of Orchard Avenue stormwater repair. Oh, there are multiple things. Okay, Orchard Avenue is a stormwater issue, but how do we start off with Orchard Avenue? Ed, do you want to help us out, or?
Yeah, I spoke to Bob Grace, the neighbor. I spoke to him like 2 weeks ago.
So he's the gentleman that we would need an easement.
Easement from. So now speaking with you the other day, I know the different avenues to go. So I'll be speaking to him on Thursday night after work.
So Mark, I think the last meeting we had was an engineering meeting. You said we could go down to 10 feet on that easement. I mean, put you on the spot, you're shaking.
We talked about that, but the pipe is 8 feet deep.
Oh.
The adjacent house is like 4 feet off the property line.
Yeah.
So we just have to be careful.
It's 8 feet deep.
Yeah, Bob,
We're getting under the sewer. On Orchard Avenue itself, we have a sewer line, gas line, and water line. We're going to get under everything.
So that's why you want it to be 20-foot easement.
Yeah, because we want it to be off that property.
Well, you want to, what do you think the minimum easement we could get that we could dig down that deep? You know?
15, maybe.
Because-
15 work. That'll put you away from far enough away.
So just so everyone knows.
See what it pops, because I mean, they're not going to be able to rip into it, dig it. They're going to have to drag a box through there. That ground is wet.
And it also depends if the property is adjacent, do they have a basement or not? If they have a basement, it will help us if they just have a crawl space.
Now they have a basement in the house.
Yeah, that helps.
So everyone, so you know, Orchard Avenue, remember, it floods. And so at the lowest point of the road, the idea is to put an inlet or double inlet to grab the water and push it behind, you know, the area behind with the turnpike, that water area. We just need an easement from the property owner. His concern, the property owner's concern, and tell me if I'm saying it wrong, he wants to possibly build a house there someday. And he doesn't want us to take too much of his land so that it would, you know, hurt him. So our ordinance allows for a certain, you can't move, you know, build too close to a property line anyway. So usually it's 10 and 5 or 7 and,
7 feet property.
you know, so if we're going to take some of his land, he won't be able to build on it. So the simplest solution for us is maybe compensate him a little bit to do this. Now, granted, it does benefit him and it benefits all the neighbors to get the water out of there. So normally we wouldn't pay somebody for an easement if it's benefiting them. But we've already spent the time designing it. We think this is the best
Does it
solution.
have to go through that property?
Well, there are other options, but we would start all over again. We would then redesign it, and
It's the easiest.
it's the easiest and least.
Less costly.
So if we can work something out with this gentleman, that would be the best scenario,
Yeah.
right?
So I'll talk to him on Thursday. Yeah, I spoke to him before, and he wants to put it on the other side of the blue house, but then he'd have to run it back up and then go the other way. You'll add about, probably about 150-foot pipe.
Yeah, it's more than we.
Yeah, that'll be put way out of bulky.
Yeah, this is the best solution. We're gonna try to do it amicably first before we go anywhere else. So I think at this point, maybe just try to, you know, we work on making the easement as small as possible and then compensating it somehow. And it's not like we haven't done this before. We've compensated people in the past. The issue that our predecessors did is we just gotta do a good job memorializing it
Yeah.
so that it shows up and things like that.
Yeah.
But once again, it only benefits that neighborhood, and that gets some more water, right? I know water from Smith Lane comes down.
Oh, yeah.
So water
From Broadway, yeah.
So Broadway too.
There's not an inlet. Well, Broadway, you don't get nothing from, you get it all the way down Broadway. They come, and you can go sit in the corner when it rains.
And it makes it right.
Yeah.
But there's another way, I know another way we could do it, but then Harry would be upset about that way. We put a rocker gutter in the top of Orchard Avenue, Orchard and Broadway, and run the water down that way.
Or grab the water.
But it'll push it past the street.
Oh, okay, so not let the water turn.
No, yeah, if you put a rocker gutter in, pave it.
Describe it a little bit, because I don't.
Oh, we can do, where the intersection of Broadway and
Orchard.
Orchard. The water turns, it comes right down Orchard Avenue. So what you do, you put a rocker gutter in. You ever see the concrete gutters that has got swell?
Yes.
Put that in past the street, so the water would run past the street.
Okay.
So, and then you build up the asphalt on the dead end side of Orchard, you build that up a little bit, and the water just goes.
I have a swale, and with that in my back of my building to make the water come. Okay, so you're saying just bypass it, and then the water goes somewhere else?
It goes right past the street.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
Well, it floods the whole street down there, yeah.
Still get any drainage.
Any water that's flowing, so the best solution and the least expensive solution is the other option, and I don't want to talk about any other options. Why don't we still keep moving on this option? Because I don't want to talk about other options until this option is dead.
We were looking to see if we could get above the sewer and below, but we might have to use double and triple pipes.
Yeah, you don't.
There's not a lot of room.
There's not.
It's 8 foot is deep.
There's not a lot, because usually the water's down 4 feet, and I think the sewer is 6. So
Okay.
trying to squeeze something through there without getting American water involved. With a gas company.
Are you talking any figures about?
I don't know, do we have any preliminary numbers at this point?
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy because it's, once again, a couple inlets and a single pipe going straight back. If we start jogging
Yeah.
and doing all this other kind of stuff,
So keep it under 100,000?
well, we'll
Oh,
get there.
yeah, we don't know what the numbers are yet.
But the point is, we're trying to get the best solution.
Yeah.
And so, Ed's gonna work it. We're gonna let Ed
I'll take care of it.
take care of it. All right. Yeah, because we have the design work done. Okay, next thing is stormwater repair. Which stormwater repair are we talking about? Harry's not here, so does anybody know what he was with reference to?
That might have been the stormwater down the end on this side of the sewer plant on Broadway that runs out into the woods there.
Okay, so if he's talking about the public works facility, I still think we've got to move forward. So the CCMA has denied giving us any kind of support on fixing it. So now I think we have to try to do some stuff in-house. Do you know anything about the stormwater repair, Pat? Down at the public works, have you guys talked a little bit more about it?
Yeah, well, no, we haven't talked since the CCNUA shot it down.
So the CCMA, they shut us down, but we have to do something about it. And to me, I think the simplest solution is for us to do some grading and some paving, which would help your guys where they park.
Increase the,
Oh, right
The
there,
box.
right there at the beginning of the yard, you have a B inlet there now.
increase it to a double.
You could put a double E in there and then put a larger pipe out.
Where's that water go? Does it go
It goes
between the
out to the
CCMA?
shop. It goes between
That house and then have the shop.
the shop.
Oh, on the left-hand side.
and
okay.
you go to the-
Looking at the gate, if
The
you're
problem
on
is
the
if you change that outlet pipe, then have to get DEP approval.
I thought we had one.
Oh.
We didn't do that side.
We would do that side. We were discharging things.
So we have a permit to do the other side, Pat.
You know, permanent on the right side when you go in the B.
So we actually have a permit, so if we could start digging now, right, and put our own pipe in. I say that flippantly, but, you know,
Where we are discharging on the right side, we have approval to do that. We don't have approval to change the outflow to the left.
And we have to get that approval if we
If
change
you're
it?
going to increase.
and we're starting, once again, we're doing drawings all over again, we're doing all this stuff.
If you increase that pipe size coming out of the inlet he's talking about, that's changing the outfall of the wetlands, and you have to get a permit to do that.
Oh.
If we can keep that same outfall structure, then you don't have to, but that's pipe is what's going to control the flow. So we can.
How long is that permit good for, the one we have on the right-hand side?
It's 2 years, I have to look that up, so I'm not sure.
Ira's not here today. Did you know anything more about this that you wanted to discuss?
There's also some projects they want slip line, and we have problems with easements, and one property owner approval, and then there's one at Reed and Phillips, where the pipe changed.
Probably cross the album.
Yeah, so those were issues, I don't know, I didn't know what.
Well, let's start the legal question.
Yes, sir.
Without an easement, what do you think? Do we fix a pipe that goes underneath someone's property without an easement?
No.
Can we take it adversely?
That would be a very high standard, if possible.
But well, how about this? The fact that it's assumed that the borough previously had it. Like, the borough put this pipe in.
Assumed.
I would say when they built.
Oh, so you're saying it might not have been the borough?
No, there's a pipe outside my house with no easement. It goes between me and my neighbor.
No easement.
There's no easement.
Without permission, I'd be very dubious and careful about it.
So we got to sign off from the one neighbor. We didn't get a sign off from the other. Now, do we need sign offs from the people on Phillips? Do we have to get permission from them?
That one goes across the street.
Oh, it goes across the street.
It does go into some of the property.
So hairy there.
But we don't have a slip, we were on a slip line, but we don't have a slip line around a turning point. So there was talk about digging up where the head wall is in somebody's property.
Oh, Bill's dad?
So there's an original head wall, there used to be two head walls catty-corner on that intersection. That whole area on the Bowman project at some point in time got filled in when they put a culvert system through there. But that used to be open channel flow into that head wall. When they buried the head wall, they turned the angle of the pipe. So you'd have to dig up that head wall, put a manhole.
Is it deep?
Yeah,
Of course.
that's on somebody's property. So we're looking at
We're
those
going to
issues.
knock on another door?
We're looking at those issues, what it would take to fix it. But those are the storm problems that I'm aware of in town.
So our biggest problem we've been having the past few years is getting the residents to agree for us to do these repairs. You know, we did the work for the Public Works facility, we did the work on Orchard, we did the work on Rambler. Now you're talking about Phillips, and if we don't get anybody to agree, we're just wasting all this time and not fixing anything. That's the only part that's, right? That's what everybody's hearing, you know?
I would imagine the one on Phillips, though, the Phillips and Reed, I would imagine
That's easy.
that one, I think you'll have no problem getting an easement or whatever to go on the problem, because it's gonna fix the problem for your yards.
It's gonna fix that problems. Okay. Do we need to do this before we start doing design work, or what's your thought?
We're trying to figure out what the best way is to fix it. Now, we're talking with Public Works on what that would be.
Let me just ask about money. Did we have money in the bond to do at least the slip lining on Rambler? Was that still there? Did we reappropriate
We did
that?
put some aside for
So we have some money for
that.
stormwater?
Original properties, yes.
But the only thing I'll say is, if we have some money for slip lining, we use it at whatever project we get done fast, or first. You know, if Orchard comes up first, we do Orchard. If we go to the Public Works garage, we do the Public Works garage. If we go to Phillips, because if the money's sitting there, you know, I still think Public Works can dig their own trench and dig and put their own pipes in. That's what I say. You know, and I'll be even okay if 2 or 3 of you are out there digging at one time. Pat runs the machine very well. Is there anything else you want to talk about some more?
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I would say, Shelley, if you want to send something out to the committee, how much, if there is money sitting there. I think the slip lining, right, we went out for bid and I think we had a contractor.
We did, about 2 years ago, we had it set aside, but we had the two come up at once, so it ended up putting us under the pressure.
Okay.
So we needed to decide what we wanted to do first, but then we couldn't get the neighbor to sign off.
Yeah, 2 years, can't get the neighbors up.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what to say on that one. All right then,
Engineering committee will work on it.
engineering committee and public works. Okay. So municipal tax sale certificate cancellation. Is this the one on 3rd Avenue? That,
I wrote this.
I know
one.
it as the last name of the owner, so I don't know if I should say that.
Yeah.
That's the Aronson property.
okay. So just so everyone knows, there's a piece of land on 3rd, it's 25 feet by whatever the depth of those lots are, it's wooded. This would basically, the borough would now take ownership of this piece of land.
Yes.
From what I understand, the process is we would have a public auction to sell it.
Once we sell it, yes, this is to get it, and then we would have a public auction to sell
Well,
it.
who owns it now?
The taxes have not been paid, so we're taking it.
We are attempting to, and this is a hurdle that we need to cross to get there.
Yeah. Once we get ownership of the property, then our goal would be to put it up for auction.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say the whole process because I think we need to use this for a lot of other properties. From what I understand, and I don't have my JD, but I'm at least say, if we put it up for auction, nobody bids on it. I believe, and that the law allows us to vacate the land
Yeah.
to either neighbor or both neighbors or split it down the middle. Is that kind of the process?
Depends on the adjoining property owners. There's a number of different scenarios there. So, but yes, that is.
I remember doing this a while ago with other property that we own.
So we tried to do this on Pine Avenue, and we had an auction, and the gentleman we thought was gonna buy it. I believe at this point, that property, because Public Works
Well, it's
doesn't wanna
not
maintain it.
buildable, from what you're saying.
It's not buildable, and we don't wanna maintain these pieces of property, and liability-wise that. I didn't realize the law allowed us to vacate these properties. So my point is, and I'm saying it publicly, if nobody bids on it, Public Works doesn't, if the borough doesn't want it, I think we vacate these lands and just move them on. Because what are we gonna do with this 25 feet on Third Avenue? Is this gonna be a problem?
Well, this be something, it'll be a problem about maintaining.
A tree will fall down,
Yeah,
something will happen. So just so everyone's aware, the town has a lot of these little properties. We have one on Clemens Bridge Road, between the two of the houses across from Captain Chucky's, is that right there? We have the one on Pine. You remember any of the other ones?
You're trying to do some Washington, is that a park now?
It is a park, so we have to decide what we're gonna do with that too. But that, I would love if we could do something with that. Because we still need to have open spaces. What's that? The Acme land, we actually gave that to the school district. So they haven't really used it for much yet, but they put a fence around it. And, they did not. They might actually be using it. I don't know. Are they using the barn? Do you know?
Fertilizer and all that kind of stuff.
They keep their fertilizer in it? But they're not using the field for anything,
Yeah,
right?
they just keep dumping more dirt.
They dump in dirt? Okay, that's nice. But the vacating is a nice thing. The only experience I have for vacating is, remember there was a paper street on Center Avenue. And Detmar.
Yeah.
And it was a paper street, and we had all four neighbors, if you remember. We vacated, and they all took it. And the only caveat is they have to pay taxes on that. So it gets it off our municipal books as showing we're not collecting the taxes, right? Those liens just keep piling up.
Yeah, every quarter, the unpaid taxes or sewer, whatever the charges are, property maintenance, all get added to the municipal lien.
And then on top of that, we've got like a property on Bassett Avenue where we tore a house down. We have the property on Central where we tore a garage down. So one of these days we gotta start biting. And this might be the first step. We can get Aaronson's done. Maybe we start doing some of these other ones to get them out there. So that's the only thing I'll say. The law allows us to do that.
Right, it depends on the setup of the property and the adjoining property owners.
Okay. All right, so municipal tax sale cancellation certificate, we'll take care of that. Items for the June 3rd meeting, liquor license resolution, I'm assuming everybody,
Yes.
so everybody's good. And proclamation for Sammy Spalding. This is obviously the young man in town who won his state championship in his weight class. And I found this out, I didn't know this, and I should have known this. New Jersey is only one of 3 states that has individual weight classes for the entire state.
Really?
Like, we don't regionalize it. So when you are a state champion, you are a state champion of 9.5 million, the whole state, every school district,
They regionalize it.
not at the state.
No, it goes to regional.
Yes, but I'm talking about the
Other
state
states
championship.
stops there, yeah.
But in other states, they break it up. We have a state champion, one of only 3 states. If you're the 126-pound champion, you are one guy. Yeah, pretty neat. It's really neat. We had something else we were going to walk on. Did I say to you guys something?
It's already in there.
It is in there. Oh, good. Okay, youth mayor and council, that'll be good then.
It's resolution 2590, next page.
Our presentations, right?
Oh, the energy restoration, okay. All right, well, let's get through the meeting then. All right, let's see. If there's no objection, I'll read from 2584 to 2589 as one. So resolution 2584, authorizing reimbursement for property damage at 521 Bowers. In case anyone doesn't know that, one of our inspectors broke something, we're just reimbursing less than $50. Resolution 2585 authorizes the release of a maintenance bond for East Clements Bridge Road. This is the Dollar General. And the maintenance bond obviously means they did everything they were supposed to do, and our engineer signed off on it. Resolution 2586, confirming 2012 appointments. This is the Green Team Chair and Vice Chair. Congratulations, Mr. White. I heard the election was tight. Man, you got suckered into that, huh? Okay, all right. So Mr. White will be the chairman with Russell Burke as the vice chair. All right, great. Resolution 2587 authorizes the participation in the LEAP implementation grant. I think I mentioned this. This is for the court, Shelley, the court. So all the expenses the borough incurred regionalizing our court, the state will reimburse us for all and additional costs as long as we get approved. Resolution 2588 is authorizing a salary increase for the fire subcode official. I appreciate this has been negotiated for a long time coming. It's difficulty finding officials. So if anybody wants to get their license, it's a good thing because it's hard to find people with these licenses. Resolution 2589 is authorization of participation in Purchasing Pros Cooperative. And what was this? Is this a specific purchase?
This is for the scoreboard.
The scoreboard, okay. All right, would someone like to make a motion to approve 2584 to 2589? All right, motion by Mr. White, second by Mr. Shapiro. Any discussion on anything? Roll call, please.
Ms. Cassia?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Those resolutions are adopted. Resolution 2590, this is one that both the League of Municipalities, the New Jersey Conference of Mayors, and the, what's the one that's for the counties? What's that called? Conference of the Counties? I forget which one it's called. So basically since 2000, the state of New Jersey has been taking money from all the municipalities in the energy receipts amounts. For Runnemede alone, Shelley calculated it, it's close to $15 million that the borough has lost in the past 25 years. In this year alone, we would have gotten an extra $1.1 million if we received all the money that was allocated to the borough. If you look at your utility bills, that is supposed to come to the municipalities. It goes to the state, and then they're supposed to send it to us, and they haven't been doing it. So there's been a much larger push to get this back. So what we're trying to do at both the league and the Conference of Mayors.
Have they done this to all your municipalities?
Everything.
Okay, so.
Everything. Now, some people get supplemental aid and some people get transitional aid and some people, what's that?
So what's the plan?
Well, the plan is to convince the legislators, which is kind of like the council, to do something. Like, they decide their budget. So Governor Murphy statutorily introduced a budget of $58 billion, and nowhere in that $58 billion was giving money back to the municipalities. And so all 564 municipalities, all 21 counties, everybody's upset that this money isn't going there. The problem is that they claim we're not saying anything, that they don't hear from the towns. Now, resolutions, in my personal opinion, get thrown in the trash, but the big push is to get as many as possible and kind of walk them up to the speaker, Coughlin, and let them know. And I think what Shelley did today, where it itemized how much, it was an Excel spreadsheet that showed how much money was lost. If every municipality were to do that, they'd really sense how much money is being lost. And I believe.
It's been going on for over
25 years. But I will say that Oprah, in my opinion, Oprah was a great change, but I believe the biggest reason Oprah got changed was because of the Clerks Association. So I don't know who we can join up with to help get this. You know, if it was, you know, some other association to say this is hurting the municipalities, somebody to say that, because Oprah really made a difference. I mean, the Clerks Association made a difference with Oprah. But it's a big issue, and these organizations, they've got to make themselves more relevant. I think a lot of reasons a lot of mayors don't go to these meetings is because they feel like they're not being represented well enough. Now, I hope you all can understand the way I'm talking now is the way I talk to them and say, this is why your attendance was less than 20% of all the mayors in the state showed up, because they don't feel like they're getting the representation. So if they could lobby for us, they're actually lobbying for us to get these
Mel
jobs.
is, the Mel is a lobby.
Municipalities do that?
Mel has nothing to do with this.
Why?
This is
Why
me,
isn't the Mel getting involved?
because it has nothing to do with the Mel.
What's their incentive to get involved?
The Mel is an insurance company.
Yeah, so
Insurance has nothing to
we
do with
pay
it.
them a lot of money. Why don't they help us?
It has nothing to do with
Their
that.
customers.
We're sending Eleanor.
We're sending out, that, well, it's funny you say that, because I had suggested to our lobbyist, Bill Caruso, and I said to Bill, why don't 100 of us go out there? And he goes, I don't think 100 mayors would show up. That's the first thing he said. But you might be right. You know, our council is an excellent council. You know, all 6 of us showed up at the Memorial Day ceremony.
Yeah,
We show up to a lot of things.
yeah.
This is unusual. The way we wear suits. I know Richie doesn't like that, but we wear suits. A lot of towns don't wear suits. Like, you guys don't go to other towns. I go to a lot of other towns. It's not the same. We, you know, and I don't take all the credit. I believe it was our predecessors that had this attitude. But they don't think they would show up, and you still have to get to a committee meeting, from what I understand. You have, you know, unless you're just making a public. Now, remember, everybody's friends with everybody. Nobody dislikes their assembly people or their state senators. Though I would challenge people in this room if they knew who their state senators and assembly people were. Maybe you guys know some. But
Our state senator.
I'm not your council person. But the average the person at the Acme can't name.
No,
Those
they have
three
no clue. No, I know.
So, but let's do it, let's send it. My job as the representative for Camden County is to get all 36 mayors to do this. So,
And you shouldn't have fun.
you'd be surprised.
You'd be very surprised.
Where, okay, so $15 million was lost in the last 25 years.
Yes,
So where did that money go?
the state of New Jersey kept it.
They kept
And
it.
what did they do with it?
Oh,
Well, that's where they would argue, that they did programs, they helped schools, they helped police funding, they helped fire departments, they helped build roads. I mean, money is fungible, so they just move the money around, you know, where the gas receipts tax directly comes back to us. But for some reason, this money isn't allocated in the same way. It's just thrown into the general fund. And the governor did nothing this year. He proposed nothing to get back to municipalities. There it is. I don't know if you've got your glasses on, you can see how bad it was. So the energy receipts tax, basically said it's calling for restoring it. Hopefully all 564 municipalities do this resolution. We did find out today that both Haddonfield and Tavistock are doing the resolution for our court stuff. When you get a chance, shoot Sharon an email. And shoot Alex from Gibbsboro an email. Amy? You know Amy? She was excellent today. She was excellent. She helped me out today with something, so. Is she a teacher?
She used to be.
Okay. Trucks. Okay. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Murray, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Cassia?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Severe?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
All right, great. And then the last resolution is Resolution 2591. It's authorizing the acceptance of the 2025 Wawa Foundation grant. I did not read this. For $1,000 to the borough's Runnemede Police Department. That's great. And it is it for specific, anything specific? Oh, trauma and blood kits.
Yes.
Nice. All right, would someone like to make a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Murray, roll call, please.
Ms. Cassia?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Severe?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go right to committee reports. Finance, look at that, finance.
Just finance, yeah. So I'm going to hold my
Finance, Mr.
formal
Merrick.
report until next week to the council meeting, but I did want to put out that
over $66,000 was collected from the 2 cannabis stores in the first quarter, just so everybody knows.
How much?
Over $66,000 in tax dollars for the first quarter. I wanted to let everybody know that. And then just on a side note, the bidding process at the Liquinta is underway. Bids have to be in by June 16th.
Okay.
And they're still shooting for August to begin demolition.
So I did get a call today.
Okay.
So,
Permit call?
no,
No.
but I already
You
responded
already
to
worked
that.
it, yeah.
But the developer has made it clear that this timeline may not coincide with the timeline that is in our redevelopment plan. So his attorney will be reaching out to our attorney, Emily, to basically outline what he's accomplished and what he needs changes. It sounds like he's looking for a little bit of an extension on the timeline, because if he doesn't get the bids until the 16th, he may not be able to get his, whatever the next thing is. I hope council doesn't see that as a negative. We'll see exactly what they say. It sounds like they've done certain things. They've gotten some approval from the New Jersey American Water. That was a big hurdle that they resolved. I think they had an issue with the Camden County MUA. I think they've kind of accepted that. So I think they've hit some milestones, but it doesn't hit our timeline. And if everybody remembers, that was a big sticking point. We wanted a timeline. Okay, but I think we also said, well, if certain things are out of your control. If it took you 2 months to negotiate with the New Jersey American Water, write that in a letter that says it took you 2 months to negotiate. I should say New Jersey American, it's American Water, right? American Water, to put that in there. But, and I think they ought to put it there about the June 16th bid dates. That'll let everybody know that this is happening. So we should be receiving something, and I believe it's going to go by to Shelley first and then come back here. Because council more likely is going to have to vote on some type of amendment to allow them to change these dates. Does that make sense? Okay. Was there anything else about the Laquita?
No.
Just finance, you're not talking about it. All right, public safety, Ms. Keller.
I'll defer to my report
Right, no
next
problem.
week.
Public events, Ms. Passio.
Yeah, is American, I have a question. Is
Yeah.
American Water going around the homes soliciting?
Yeah,
change?
they changed mine already.
Can you explain that?
Yeah,
Do you
so
know
we-
anything about what's
They
going
just
on?
scratched, what they did, they just scratched my pipe, and they said, oh, you have copper, and they walked out.
Yeah, they're not soliciting anything, they're looking for lead pipes, and they're looking to improve infrastructure, so they're asking to come in your house and test it. It is legitimate.
Because I'm getting a lot of.
Yeah, if you don't answer, let them in, they'll call you and set up an appointment. The guy that came to my house had badging and everything, was legitimate, so.
So they're looking for lead?
They're looking for lead
And
pipes.
if they do find lead, then.
They want to replace it, they were talking, that's what the guy told me.
Yeah, because I think they did dig up somebody's property.
Now, whose responsibility is the lead line from the meter out? Is that their responsibility?
They were acting like they were going to replace it if there was a problem.
From the meter?
From the meter out, yes.
Yeah.
So they did your house as well?
Yep.
Yeah, they did my house also,
Yep.
so. They've definitely been in our area pretty heavy.
So it depends on where the meter is. So in my house, for some reason, my meter's in my basement. But in some people, my business, the meter's outside. So I believe, I don't know if anyone knows this, depending on where it is, I guess you're responsible for the line. At least that's how I always understood it. I don't totally know. And then I believe the gas company's doing the same thing. They're soliciting. They're
I
running
haven't
around.
seen,
I haven't seen that,
Or
no.
they're doing some evaluations.
The
They've been
gas-
tearing up, they tore up in front of the firehouse, right? Is that gas company?
They're currently,
yes, services, yeah. Second Ave, Ninth Ave, a few spots over on the south
Okay.
county.
That's just infrastructure.
That's just
main
that,
stuff, yeah.
okay, that's then, all right. Because I did see some email about them soliciting. Did you see that? What was
I
that?
think they're notifying people ahead of time.
They're notifying people ahead of time. Okay. Was there, okay, Patty, or?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so, all right, we had a Memorial Day services, which were yesterday. It was very nice. It was very nice. Thank you, Eleanor, and thank you all for coming and showing up in your suits and ties. It was very nice. It's very disappointing, though, because we have, 8,000 plus people in our town, and not too many people show up. And these are services for our fallen veterans, and it's Memorial Day, and it would be really nice to see the town show up. We do this every year. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but as old as I am, we've been doing it the same day, Memorial Day, and at 12 noon. It's never changed. So you can't tell me that you don't know that we do it, because we do it. And it's a ceremony that is very well respected, and we honor our servicemen, our fallen ones. Because of them, we have our freedom. So it'll be very nice next year. Of course, it is our centennial, so hopefully we'll see a lot more residents come out. That's all I have to say about that. I was, it's disappointing. It really is. Okay, with that being said, the Scout Building will have the ribbon cutting on June 8th at 2 o'clock. We will all show up to that, hopefully. 2 p.m. They're going to be cutting, and it's going to be really nice. They're going to have some old memorabilia, and they'll have food there. The borough will supply food for them. So, and they'll have other refreshments and things like that.
Patty mentioned
Yes.
that the Town Review is having the yachting,
Go ahead.
the kayaking, and they'll be landing at the Knoll Park
Oh,
that afternoon.
oh, okay.
On the same day?
The same
Yeah, the
day?
same day.
Oh, okay, thank you. Do you know what time? Around what time?
They leave 11:30 from Old Pine Farm,
Oh, okay.
and they'll get to Vanilla Park probably around 12:30. And then some of them will move on to, what's the last one that they go to?
Brooklawn,
Yeah.
park over in Brooklawn, right up along the,
Along the creek.
yeah, right along the creek, there's that park over in Brooklawn. There's gonna be 2 stopping points. The first stopping point is Vanilla
Is
Park.
Runnemede okay?
But most of your people are gonna be down out there.
Oh, they won't make it the other, that's fine.
Well, it's,
Depends on the time.
And the tide's tough.
yeah, the tide's supposed to be running out at that
Oh,
time.
so,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
But
Okay, that's good.
I've done it in my kayak, and it's
It's tough.
well, if you're going with the tide, it's fine. But
You think I can get Lisa to show up to this?
It's possible. You never know.
So
Okay.
I will be there doing the survey for the participants that are going to be.
And then you
doing
come over to the
kayak.
Scout Building.
And then once I'm done there, I'll go to the Scout Building at 2 o'clock.
And I'll be participant, I'll be,
Ed is kayaking.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
This is a
Okay.
big deal because it's all part of the National Park Service audit of how we're going to use our Big Timber Creek for recreation.
Okay.
I think you're all familiar with it.
I saw the report, I didn't get a chance to review it, I know they wanted our opinion on that. I don't know who can do that, hopefully the green team is involved in that opinion.
I did not see, did you see the report?
no, I have not.
Maybe you can send it to them? You and I got it, right?
I got it.
Or me and you? Do
I got it.
you want to send it to everybody? And the green team?
Make sure Ed and Russell,
Yeah, well,
Russell sent it out, so.
oh, it came from Russell?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought it came from the,
Yeah, Russell's, he sits on the old park chair.
Alright.
He's,
what else did you have?
Okay, Youth Mayor Council will be on, they will be here at our next council meeting, our youth mayor and council, that'll be on June 3rd, and they will represent us, and they will take over the meeting, so it should be fun. They'll do their presentation on that day.
You know,
What?
I haven't, I apologize, and it's probably much too late, but I saw the letter, you sent me a copy of the letter of my student and what he's going to report on. Do you feel that these kids just got this, or they already got these letters back on May 17th? Did they already receive all these letters?
The only one that received that letter was mayor and council.
No, I'm talking about the children. The reason I'm saying it is each kid is going to report on the same thing. I didn't know if you wanted to make them report on different aspects.
No, each one has a different agenda.
Good, okay.
They all have agendas.
So you gave them something a little bit different.
So, yeah,
Okay, so
so
they
they-
can focus
they-
on something.
Right, so they presented it to us as, their thoughts for the centennial. So
Okay.
that's what it's all about.
So they all have their
Each
own.
is different.
Good.
Yes, each is
Good.
different.
Great.
Yes, yeah. So it should be interesting. I apologize because I did want to bring, the reports to you. So I'll get them to you so that you can see what they're going to present. But then I want you to bring it back here on Tuesday so that they can read from that, okay?
Patty,
yes.
when are we going to meet with the kids here? Like we're going to be here?
Eleanor will discuss that with when are you going to have the kids meet? with their counterparts.
Well, we only have a
So,
week,
yeah, so,
a little more than a week.
yeah, it could be Monday.
Yeah,
It could be Monday. It could be
Second.
Monday. Huh? Yeah, it
What
could
time?
it could be Monday. What would be after school, so it would probably be like, what, 3:30?
3 o'clock.
Monday's the 8th grade dance.
Monday's the 8th grade dance.
Monday is the 8th grade dance.
Yeah,
Oh, is
they're
it?
not gonna be.
Oh, okay, it's the 8th grade dance, okay,
That's what.
So forget that.
yeah.
Do what you can.
Well, we can do
We'll
it
do- we'll
after
do
they,
something.
we could do it maybe Wednesday or Thursday that
Yes.
week. They'll be sworn in
Okay.
on Tuesday, so then Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so that'll be good, so we'll do that after.
Yeah, they'll come and they'll do the tour of the
And we will
jail.
have pizza for the kids here, so.
But what I want people to do is,
Oh, wait a
you
minute.
have the emails for your children. It's usually their parents' email. So if you want to meet with your child, please do so. Call them up or email them and see if you could arrange something with them.
So you mean you'd have because the 3rd is 1 week from today. We would have.
Yeah, but they could meet after they get sworn in.
Okay.
You don't have to do it right away. You could meet after they get sworn in.
Yeah, you're right.
Why rush it?
Yeah. All right. What else, Patty?
Okay, so, the 4th of July parade, of course, we all know is coming up, and that'll be on the 4th of July at 1 o'clock. The bicycle parade is pending, so as soon as I talk to the Rotary Club on what they want to do, we might be eliminating the bicycle parade and adding a pet parade, so we don't know what we're going to be doing.
And the Women's Club
And the
will
Women's
help
Club
with
is
the
still
baby
doing the
parade.
baby parade, yes, we're still going to do that. Otherwise, other than that, I would say progress. Yeah.
There's only one thing I want to add to this. This meeting that I went to, one of the big things that they talked about, the Memorial Day is a classic example of communicating with people. The baby parade, the bicycle parade, all these activities that we have. I think, and just to dispel anybody, I did sign up for Facebook, Instagram, and X.
Welcome to 2005.
I got to 2025, guys. I took
2005.
2005, is that what I tried? Okay. So I'm 20 years behind. But, and the reason is that one of the things that municipalities talk about all the time is what Patty talks about, this communicating, this stuff. And I'm not saying that social media is the answer for everything. It's not. Because you're not going to get a strata of our population. One of the gentlemen that came up to me at the Memorial Day was a gentleman who lived in town, who moved out of town. And there's a lot of people that were in this community, moved on, and still have an affinity and want to come back to things. And so this gentleman made a point. Now, I agree with Patty. We have it the same day, the same time, for 50 years. He did not make it, but he was saying he couldn't find it anywhere. And that is something, I think this is how we can change it. Our staff has enough to do, even though I'm always asking for more. I believe, and I learned this from the mayor of Audubon, he was able to find a young man who was in college and was getting a marketing degree. So
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, you can, but I want you to be supportive of this. I'm looking for us to hire a communications director. Now, I use that word loosely, because if it's an intern,
John had somebody connected from,
we need to take it to another level, because we never really got off the ground.
no, it didn't.
And we need this to get off the ground. And so.
Is this somebody other than what John had talked about?
Yes. So what I did is I went to the high school, and I asked Missy if there was any students, current or previous, that had moved on, and she gave me a name. Ironically, he's a Greek, so don't take it the wrong way.
Okay.
But it was from Missy, and he happens to be Greek. And he's taking marketing at Rutgers. And at least I have to look at his resume again. But maybe we'll meet with this young man and see if there's something we could possibly do where it takes a little pressure off of Beth and Amanda and all of us. Because, there's so many things happening in recreation. There's so many things happening in public events. The police, all these departments, heads, fire, could utilize the support of a professionalism. Just the fact to design a poster. I give the scout committee, they did a nice job. I don't know if you saw their poster that they did. They did do a nice job with it. But that takes time to get that stuff done. So I don't want to see a Memorial Day that doesn't have. When you were nominating, when you were honoring people, those were the best ones. when you would have somebody every year that brought their families out, and brought their friends out. Now, I know it's terrible, we've lost a lot of those men.
They're gone,
They're
yeah.
gone.
All the seniors
And-
are gone, the VFW.
All those men that we honored are all,
Yeah.
I know it's terrible.
They're gone.
But we have to figure something out. And then the same thing with even this baby parade, because you got the 100-year centennial coming up.
That's
You know,
why I don't want to stop.
and I heard you say that to Tara, that you don't want to cancel something and then try to bring it back up again. So I think this is we're gonna have to try to get this baby parade and this bicycle parade, and the pets is actually a good idea too. Put it all together with the help of the Women's Club and the Rotary Club. And, because we need to get people back engaged. And we're doing a lot now. I appreciate what the chamber does. They're using social media, but even then, we need to integrate. All these things that the libraries complained about, the youth athletics, all this stuff, the school districts. So I'm trying to get the regional to help out, and I'm sure the local.
So when are you meeting with this young man?
I only got it over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So, I only briefly discussed it with Shelley. It wasn't something we budgeted, and that's always a difficult thing to try to squeeze something in. But, I was really hoping for someone who was looking for, something for their resume, something for their, their classes, but we'll see. A kid from town is really the goal.
Well, yeah, really.
But I don't know if we can get that right away. Maybe that's our future, to bring this in every year, so.
This is something we have talked about.
I know,
for many, many
we've got to get it off the
years.
ground.
And it never got off the ground.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I do support you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go on to engineering, you were good. Engineering.
Thank you, Mayor. NJDOT State Aid Program, Johnson Avenue, Council authorized Bach Associates to proceed with design and advertising project for bids. Surveys complete and preparing for existing condition-based plans. ADP bathrooms, Harry Williams.
Isn't there a meeting tomorrow?
Yes, 28th.
Okay, you guys. I can't make it.
That's not for Johnson.
That's not Johnson.
That's Mitchell, right?
So Mitchell's tomorrow, I apologize.
What's it, a construction meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, you're doing over
Nope.
10 o'clock tomorrow. I'm not there, so if you want to go. No. You're not there. It's okay. How do you go? All right, sorry.
I will.
That's
I
okay.
get confused which one is which road.
Engineering committee met when the Harry Williams building the other day. They were talking, discussing lighting fixtures, bathroom fixtures, paint finishes, lights, electrical requirements, and they talked about the sound system, but considering potential vandalism, they decided against it. And they also, regarding the issues with gas, water, and electric are being addressed. That building's going to be really, really nice. It's good looking. There's going to be a big stage, so the community's going to, have some things that, if you're going to hope people to come see a show, you're going to have something worthwhile looking at.
We need that color rendering. If you could do that, that'd really help everybody visualize it. That's what sells the project.
Also, CC Community Development Block Grant for West 2nd Avenue and West 4th. Contractor is currently working on the punch list. And at last, New Jersey DOT State Aid Program, Williams, Sherrington, and Mitchell. This is on Mitchell Avenue. Base bid at alternative bid number 1 was awarded to South State in the amount of $235,476 per resolution 2570, and contractor being executed, and pre-construction meeting is scheduled for May 28th. For the rest of projects.
Public Works, anything else?
Public Work, they did a great job setting up for the Memorial Day service, setting up, bringing it down. They've been doing the yard waste. They went out and did some asphalt repairs. A lot of people happy, especially Bob's friend.
What is true?
Yeah, it's good plan, they got that taken care of. And construction department, I just got into that last month, so I met with Wayne, I met with Diane, whenever, and we'll be meeting again.
And we're resolved with the fire subcode official, obviously, tonight.
Yes, I
Tonight
resolved that.
fixes that.
Yeah.
Great. So my phone call to Gibbsborough today, so you know why I was talking to Gibbsborough, was I know the street sweeper's down again. Are you aware of this? It's down. So I made a call to the county to see if they would help us out. They have 4 street sweepers that constantly break down, and they're always behind. So they have no excess capabilities. They have no ability to help us. If everyone recalls, I guess Shelley reminded me that last year the county was trying to get out of the street sweeping business. They don't even want to be in it. So they want municipalities to take over all the county roads. And so far, the only town that I know that did it, because they told me, was Gibbsboro. And that's why I called Amy, because the county said that Gibbsboro went out and got quotes to bring in a third-party vendor to clean the streets 4 times a year or as needed if they called them in. And obviously the advantage is, you know, the machine doesn't, we're not responsible. Now, let's say there's a cost, but, you know, these new street sweepers are going for several $100,000.
Just Barrington,
They bring a third party in
yeah,
also.
because I saw it on.
But the reason the county said to call Gibbsboro was because they had gotten such a good quote. Whoever this company is, it was very aggressive. So she sent over, I think, the bid specs. I actually didn't read it. I sent it to Shelley before I even read it. So hopefully, it's something for us to at least investigate. You know, I'm not a huge fan of turning certain operations over to private entities because you don't want to be beholden to them. I like having my own equipment. If you need a backhoe, go dig a hole. But the street sweeper, for some reason, seems to be an awful piece of equipment, right? It's an awful piece of equipment that even the county was telling me that their drivers every day have to go through a checklist because something always goes wrong and is down. You know, Barrington gave up on it. Belmar's still looking to do it, but they're looking to go to a dry machine to get away from the water and stuff like that. I don't know how that, you know,
You
just
get those
a
guys
brush.
back with the big broom.
What's that?
That's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work, you know? So we are obligated under stormwater management to clean everything. So I don't know, that's the only thing that bothers me. Street sweeping is only one part of it. We're still cleaning out the inlets. Now, our vac truck could suck out those inlets, right?
That's what we use.
And you are using it.
Yeah.
So that's great. So that still allows us. So everyone knows our vac truck can take on lifting. How do you lift the grates? You have like a piece of equipment. Oh, man.
We're a big private.
Okay, wow.
Flip 'em back.
All right, so we clean them out, and so that's good, but we do have to clean the streets 4 times a year. And I understand the bid process is we have to have a detail of our streets, the width of the streets, and then they can go out for bid. Supposedly, it was below the bid threshold, was it? For them, it was. Gibbsboro's a different town than us. I don't know, it's smaller, but they have a lot of trees, a lot of stuff. So we'll see. I just think we should have options. You know, I wish a town would take the initiative, like a Gloucester Township, but even they don't have excess capacity. They don't have the ability to run around. They barely can get their streets done. So how are they going to run and do another town? So that was the big issue. But that's the only thing I want you to know, that we'll look into that and at least see what
I
this
think it's
costs.
something good to look into for a third party, believe it or not. The money you're gonna spend, what do you spend in a year to fix this sweeper?
I think Chris did it for one time. She sent us an email. Does everybody remember that? What was it, like $25,000?
Yeah,
It was some ridiculous amount of money, right?
Yeah.
And Harry pitches because, well, let me see. There's only a couple vendors and Harry, you know, it just always seems like it breaks and then it gets fixed and it still breaks again. But
I didn't realize we were trying to fix our sweeper we had.
we're always trying to fix it. It's always breaking.
Yeah, because we just had 700.
Always. If you look at your bill list, it's always breaking. They'll run it and I guess I have no idea.
Too many moving parts.
Okay, anything else? Okay, Parks and Rec?
Let's see, RY has baseball playoffs, I think we started this week.
Nice.
Softball is getting ready to start, Fairfield. Basketball just started their summer program. The first one was the training, right? And then they'll do their rec, basketball after that. Soccer had their Memorial Day tournament on Saturday. They had a nice turnout, had a nice day for it, so they're doing some things, and they do more on advertising on Facebook and stuff like that. They do a good job, pictures and all that, things like that, stuff online. And the rest is progress.
Okay. The only thing I want to add to everybody on that is we're gonna try to get some more information out of these organizations, how their finances are doing, because there's a constant need, right? There's a need for nets, there's a need for basketball nets, soccer nets, lighting, insulation. So it's a lot of stuff where some of it is,
They've been doing, only in the past, we've had to come up with get netting and all that, but they did mostly by their budget.
soccer did well, right?
Soccer did well, they brought their own netting this year. Basketball really doesn't act for much. Baseball hasn't acted for much unless they need dirt or something like that. So the ROI part right now hasn't acted much from us to make any nets or any equipment at all.
But they do have a couple asks, and we gotta see how we can help them and things like that. Okay, but we'll get together with them. I think this new group, I think they've got their finances under control.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
Okay.
Ken's doing a good job.
Anything else?
Rest of Caucus.
Solicitor, you got anything?
Good to go.
Engineers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I submitted my report in writing. Bob did a great job in covering most things. Just want to add one thing. Under general engineering, DOT has announced that fiscal year 2026 municipal aid applications are due July 1st. So I'll work with the engineering committee and come up with a recommendation or two for that application.
You know, is it, what part of the town does DOT?
You can go anywhere.
DOT was anywhere, CDBG keeps getting smaller, right?
But it can go anywhere, but it's just, it's benefits if there's a high volume, or if it connects to the state road, connects to a county road, or is near a school, things like you get extra points with DOT. But the whole town is open as far as an application for that. So we'll work with the engineering committee and come up with a recommendation before we get
All right, easy. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Did a great job.
Any idea on the electric? Last time we talked, the electric and the
Still
sewer.
working
So the electricity hooking up to those pump stations. Any update on that? Eleanor's not here to ask.
PSE&G was out working on them.
I heard.
And they came out right when we were doing sunset as far as reconstructing, and perfect timing. And we couldn't have two contractors on the same road, so I don't know what their status is right now.
So we pushed them off?
Yes.
Good, that's great. That's great.
We had truckloads of asphalt coming that day.
So you had no choice.
We had no choice.
Okay. All right. Harry's not here, superintendent's report. Pat, did you have anything with Public Works you think that's important for us?
Nothing different. The director covered everything.
Okay, that's easy. Okay, let's keep going. Payment of bills. Would someone like to make a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the monthly bills.
Motion by Ms. Passive, second by Mr. Murray. Roll call, please.
Ms. Pasio?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Wade?
Yes.
Have I
Okay, bills are paid. Shelley, did you have anything else? I don't see the chief here, and Harry's not here. That, anything? Okay. All right, then this portion, unless there's anything else, this portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please go to the microphone, state your name and town of origin. Okay, yes, come on up. Did we get those flags out of there? Did you
I
notice?
don't know, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, the young men, they were going to do it, and then they had to go get the key from Nick, I think.
I just, Val Colasano, Runnemede. I just want to say how lovely the Memorial Day service was. And really, everyone there enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Val.
Val pointed out that our people do a great job putting their flags in there, but it overflows constantly. So we have to come up with a plan. I think Sammy's giving me a hard time, we give too many flags. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of flags, so.
Can we get another,
I think it's a matter of just, how do we hold them, the disposal aspect of it. It's massive, amount of flags. But, okay, is there anyone else? Seeing no one else, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Ms. Passio, all in favor? Aye. All right, public portion is closed. Is there anything else? Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Shapiro, second by Ms. Passio, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we adjourned at 7 o'clock on the dot.